It's a solo record, and it's coming out through like some German label called 110100100.global. That's the label name.
True. Anyway, hello, welcome back to Local Music Shapes Culture. I'm Alison, Christoff, and I'm here with Ron Record, who is in the Indianapolis music scene.
Yep.
And but kind of recently, you lived in Fort Wayne for a while, right?
Yep, I recently moved here. Like, I don't know now, probably like 5 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been liking Indianapolis?
I love it, man. I really, like, I feel
Ron's in a bunch of music projects, too. That's really important.
Yeah, I'm in a plethora of music things. Yeah, but I like it here, and, like, honestly, I think the coolest part about this place is the music, I think. Like...
Really?
To
about
me,
Indianapolis?
yeah. Like, the punk scene goes crazy here, you know?
Yeah, I feel like Indianapolis isn't necessarily a city where people think of it for its music scene.
Yeah.
And, like, even beyond that, I don't even think a lot of people here know how big our music scene is, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, if I mention anything to my coworkers, they're like, I think they, like, don't think it exists, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least on no, like, large-scale level, especially, like, punk, you know?
Yeah, I love to be, like, low-key about it, too, you know, like that you're
yeah, low-key, like, making a YouTube podcast about it.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have a podcast. Yeah.
You do?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought you said. I thought you said you used to. I was going to be like, wow, you have a podcast too?
I used to, but...
Yeah. Was it just an audio podcast?
Yeah, it was an audio podcast. I don't really like watching podcasts as much as I like
it kind of just depends on the situation. Like, if I'm, like, at home, like, a lot, like, I don't know. I gave my old couch to my roommates that moved out, and so that's just been a craft room right now, but sometimes I'll just turn on the TV and, like, put on...
yeah, that's what I do. So,
like, in that situation... But it's also, like, you're not committed to the visual, necessarily.
Yeah, no. But I like seeing people, like, talk. That's, like, another thing. Not, like, just go back and forth, you know, when you're, like, sitting there.
Especially, like, people who have, like, minds that you kind of want to, like, dig into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that I don't care about hearing talk about stuff.
But yeah, I like to listen to what a lot of the band people have to say around. I like to listen.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and honestly, through, like, doing this podcast, I, like, a lot of time, I mean, like, every time, I come away knowing so much about whoever, like, I'm talking to, and usually, it's, like, I didn't know them very well beforehand. Like Mia, obviously, I know her fairly well, but, like, yeah, just a lot of people. Like, the first person on my podcast was Devin, and it's like, yeah, you just come away, like, knowing so much about people.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you knew, like, a lot of the people that come on here.
I, like, know them, but it's more like, they're not, like, close friends of mine usually.
Yeah.
I would consider, like, Mia a close friend, but, like, other than that, I don't think so. I don't know. It kind of varies. Friendship levels are a spectrum.
Yeah. I was thinking about starting a podcast, and I was just like, I don't know how I could, like, make it so I'm, like, not an awkward host, and, like,
yeah,
but I don't know.
That's definitely a concern.
Yeah, what's your tips for that? Yeah, what's your tips for not being an awkward host?
Not being awkward. Thank you for not thinking I'm awkward. I don't really know. Sometimes I do feel awkward, especially depending on the day, or, like, just, like, how many, like, some days I feel like I'm just, like, better at asking questions than other days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on the days where you're, like, maybe, like, just, like, your head's just not all connected super well, then it, like, gets a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it just depends on the day, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to something that you said recently, and it was, like, you were talking about playing shows and, like, how, like, it's really a bummer when you're not with it a certain day, and there's really nothing you can do. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, when you put on a show, and it's, like, you kind of have to go into more of, like, a character than... I don't know, it's kind of like when you're doing, like, music, it's, like, a toss-up between being like a method actor and like really going ham, and then like also being yourself. So it's like
That's true.
like you're kind of regurgitating how you feel that day, but like when you're not with it a certain day, or when you're like in your head too much a certain
That's
day,
true.
it like impacts
I've
how
like
you perform.
I've thought about this a lot in like because like well before I was in the music scene, I took like private voice lessons for a while, and like so I think I thought about it a lot in that aspect, and like because when I first started taking lessons, I was not a good singer at all.
Yeah.
And like I got a lot better obviously, but like it took me so long to like hit this threshold to where I actually liked how my voice sounded. Like years, like at least 4 or so years. And before that, it's like I felt like I could hit notes, but I didn't like the timbre in my voice.
Me too. That's how I feel. Like 100%.
Like right now.
Yeah, like I feel like my voice is like really like warbly, but like I'm slowly getting better at it. Like when I was 16 and I would try and make music, it would be like really bad. I mean, I didn't think it was good, but I thought like the bar was like really low for like a good and bad singer. So I was just like, well, I have pitch, but I don't really have like a good tone. So I felt like, oh, that's enough.
Yeah, and bad and good is objective too, you know. Or
Yeah,
subjective,
for sure.
subjective.
Yeah, that's subjective.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it like anyway, I mean obviously it got easier as like the muscles in my vocal folds in my mouth and everything like got just trained to be more precise. That got easier to like express myself. But also sometimes it would still feel very mechanical in like, okay, Alison, I guess you're technically singing well, but like I don't feel the emotion behind it. And I heard, and one of my voice teachers said once, just allow yourself to like feel how you're feeling, and then like just start pouring that into the song, whatever that means to you. And a lot of times it will like end up just transforming into the song.
Yeah.
For me, it's hard to explain.
No, I get that, and I feel like doing shows is like very therapeutic too, because it's like usually, you know, you're a singer too, and like you write the songs. I feel like well, the songs I write like kind of go hand in hand with my day-to-day life. So even if I do have like a bad day, you know, it'll like come out in a way where it's like if I'm feeling a certain way a certain day, it'll be able to express how I'm feeling, and it's like very therapeutic, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think performing is very therapeutic, honestly. A lot of times I do go to a show like not even having the best day, maybe feeling burnt out, like not necessarily even wanting to be there, like when I'm performing. That honestly, that doesn't happen most of the time. Usually I feel like I'm pretty excited, but sometimes that does happen, and but after I play, I feel like I walk away like feeling a lot better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, just playing's awesome.
Yeah,
you should
rocks.
start a band.
Yeah, a lot of people think they can, but I think they can. Like, I feel like the worse that people are, like, subjectively at their instruments, the better the songs are generally.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
Worse?
Yeah, worse equals better.
Worse in what way?
I don't know, like, you look at a band like the Shags or something, where it's just like, they kind of learn their instruments in this. Do you know that band, the Shags?
I think so.
They're like they have like a crazy story where it's like their dad like made them play instruments or whatever.
Go on.
He like a fortune teller told him that they were gonna be like big stars or something, so he made them play instruments, and they wrote all these songs. Like they wrote an album, and he like made like a bunch of pressings of the record, and then he like hoarded them for himself because like he didn't think the world was good enough to have them. But those records saw the light of day, and they're like really good. I mean, I could be butchering the story, but like it's an amazing band.
Yeah, when I was dating Basil, he was obsessed with that story actually. So I am familiar with that story.
Sorry to regurgitate that. Yeah, but that's a good band and stuff, and there's like a band called Half Japanese.
No,
that's
they
really
don't
good.
know, so it's good you told them.
Right? Yeah, the other people.
Anyway, what'd you say?
There's a band called Half Japanese that like he just like doesn't know how to play. It's him and his brother, and like they don't know how to play instruments, and they made like a double record or something.
Okay.
Called Half Gentleman Not Beast, and it's it's really awesome.
For sure. That makes sense. I feel like you also have to have like confidence at the same time in doing that.
Yeah,
for it to,
definitely.
like, be good.
Well, usually the people are like even
Yeah.
the Shags. I feel like they were,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, it's like sometimes, right? That would be so hard, honestly, to like just pick up an instrument and know nothing about it and like to make an album.
Yeah.
For me, but even if you just do know only a little bit, I feel like it makes you have to be more creative with the limited things you do know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like lack of knowledge is power sometimes, like in music,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because, like, I get what you mean if you're, like, watching a band that who's, like, all of the people are, like, really, really good at their instruments. Like, they have had a lot of training, maybe even, like, classical training or, like, jazz training, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like a lot of the things that they regurgitate on stage sometimes is, like, just those things that they already know that they were taught was right or proper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I've never, like, in high school and stuff, people really liked, because I would take, like, emotional skill being, like, just, like, pure, like, songwriting ability,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, you could be awful at your instrument or whatever, but if you have something interesting to say, or, like, you have a new approach, like, that's more interesting than, like, I know, like, a lot of people in high school really like Wolfpack and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like those really, like, that jazz fusion stuff where it's like, look how good they are at the instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just feel like songwriting is a lot more interesting.
Yeah. It just depends, Like, I mean, obviously there are a lot of really awesome bands who have really, really talented instrumentalists.
Yeah. No
And-
diss, no shame.
Yeah.
No shame.
It just depends. It
No
depends
shade.
on if they, like, take it and put their own spin on it versus, like, just trying to do what they were supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely, like, I vibe heavy with, like, good jazz music and, like, people who know how to play their instruments.
Yeah.
But, like, I always gravitate because, and it also, like, people who aren't, like, the best at their instruments, whenever it, like, sounds earnest or, like, or it's like, yeah, it just sounds, like, anxious. It kind of matches the mood, because I was, like, really, really, like, anxious in high school and stuff, and it was, like, the more anxious the song sounded, like, that's what drove me to it, because that's how I felt. And it's, like, a very, like, very niche kind of thing. I feel like a lot of people who like that kind of music is very anxious. A lot of, like, punk music as well.
Or is that what
anxious.
we're mostly talking about right now? Is punk music or what?
Well, I guess like any, like, I feel like any music can be anxious, but, like, it's more easy to, like, go into punk music about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Daniel Johnston, I feel like is anxious music, but, like, he's not necessarily punk.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. I don't think.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Barbly voice.
So do you want to talk about your musical projects going on right now, Ron?
Yeah. So I have my solo project that's called Roman New Time, and
that one's kind of newish, right? Like maybe a year old.
actually I've been doing that since high school.
Or wait, no, it's the other one with Chuck that I'm thinking.
Yeah. I have
Which one's that?
That's a band. I have a band called Lunch Club.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and it has a few of my friends in it. Actually, like, I didn't really know a lot of... I knew Jacob and Chuck when I moved to Indianapolis, but, like, I didn't know, like, the other members. I guess being, Brad and Jacob... Or, I mean, Brad and Gus. But, like,
Yeah.
I've been very lucky that they kind of, like, wrapped their arms around me. And, like,
Aw, that's so sweet.
yeah, they're awesome. And, like, they had all these songs, and they were like, hey, like, do you want to add vocals to them?
Yeah, and that's your only, like, full band based here,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have other stuff still lingering in Fort Wayne, but
Yeah, like, oh shoot, I just said the name of it, Home Phone.
yeah. That's kind of like here and Fort Wayne. No.
Yeah, because it's half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still lives there. I live here.
And then you have your solo project, Roman New Time. Is that the one that you have a new release on soon?
Yes, yeah. That's the one. I've been doing that music since, like, high school, and just kind of slowly refining it, like, over the years, and
Cool.
I have like 8 albums.
Wow, that's a lot. How many songs on each album?
Usually like 8 or 9 or 10.
Okay, like
Yeah.
longer, normal length.
I would say they're like shorter. I just kind of like, usually like spit out songs like really quickly
Yeah.
before I get bored of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I try to do that too. It's like you gotta capture the idea when you're really excited about it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like if you kind of sit on it. Like I've been trying to get into like zine making more lately, and like whenever I start one and then I don't finish it, it's like I'd rather just start a new one.
Yeah, that's always the danger to like I'm always tempted to go back and be like, oh, like start something new,
Yeah.
Just like abandon the old idea. But
For sure.
like just to have like, because it's like, oh, I wasn't as good back then, but now I am now.
Yeah.
But you're gonna just keep saying that forever,
Yeah, for sure. Or if you
Most
like
like
have
zine
people
making.
around you like in a band that like can help you get excited about the idea again, I feel like that helps.
Yeah.
But like one of my friends, I've heard her say like several times recently. This has been like something in her mind is like Michael Jackson when he like got an idea that came to his head. Have you heard of this?
No.
He was like, I immediately need to record this. I immediately need to write this down and do this because otherwise he was scared the idea would like, in like some universe like woo way would like bounce to Prince.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that because I feel like a lot of the ideas that kind of come into our sphere, like our zeitgeist, they're not like necessarily ours,
That's wild.
Yeah,
We got
I
spiritual
think that.
fast, guys.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the making songs in general is a very spiritual thing because it's like usually when I make a song it like comes in some kind of like full form. It's never like I'm like intentionally looking to like make a song, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It like comes in a full form and it's like, oh, that sounds like a Nirvana song. Let me record that. Or like, like that sounds like blah blah blah. Or it's just like you have like a little melody. That's why yeah, it's just awesome. It's
You
an
said
awesome
it does
process.
or doesn't come in full form.
It does.
Oh, okay.
Not like a whole song, but like just like a little melody, like
Yeah.
just yeah, for
I
an
feel
idea.
like once you get the hang of like making songs, it's like doesn't seem like that hard to at least like draw up a concept with like,
Yeah, it's kind of
at
like
least
a muscle.
for one instrument.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You kind of train yourself to like find it more easily,
Yeah, for sure.
And it never feels like it's like yours. And sometimes it isn't yours. Like sometimes you like take a song that like that turns out to be like
just
George
from your
Harrison did that.
subconscious.
Yeah, it's from your subconscious, but also like it could be a song that you heard 10 years ago and then you forgot about it and you remembered it and like, oh, I like that song that I just made up. Let me make that. And I
That's
think like
wild.
George Harrison did that once and he got like sued for it or
What
something.
song?
I think it was My Sweet Lord. That's the name of the song, right? You know that song?
I don't know.
But that's a good song, but I think it ripped off another song. But
Damn.
but it's still a good song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, songwriting is awesome. And yeah, I do feel like it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Me too. Sometimes I still got to push myself to like get started or finish it, but like I don't know, maybe that's just from fear of something.
What do you think you're afraid about with that?
I think I just start getting too in my head about my ideas. Like I might come up with an idea I like and then I get scared that like the other ones like whether they fit in or whether they're good, and then I like don't want to finish because I'm so concerned with whether it's like actually good rather than just like trying to figure out like spit things out and figure out what.
Yeah. Are you talking about like an album or like
A song.
a song? So you have like one good part and you feel like the other part of it is lacking or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just coming up with the rest of the ideas to make it finished and complete.
Right. Yeah, I never even think about like that kind of a thing. I don't know.
Nice. Lucky
But-
for you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good or bad. Like I think thinking about it is good though.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't.
It
Don't
depends.
let yourself doubt. Like get you down.
No. I haven't been writing a lot of songs like on my own recently anyway. It's like so it's not really been like something I've been like working on for myself, it's because right now most of my songwriting is like in Pygmale Brains, and it's just me doing vocals. And for that, I feel like it's easiest for me to write something that I feel like is like totally like what I want. It's like the song is if it's like basically the only thing I'm thinking about for like multiple days.
That's the easiest way for you to write a song, you think?
I think it's like the most surefire way for me to come up with something that I definitely like.
That's awesome though. It gives you something to like look forward to, right?
Like it doesn't necessarily. I've definitely had songs that come out quicker than that, but sometimes if I'm like just if I've been doing other stuff, if I've been focusing on other stuff like my podcast or something, and like my head's just not been in like Pygmale Brain songwriting space, I feel like it takes me some time for my brain to like get reprogrammed into that.
Right, for sure, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that with work too, where it's just like you
Yeah.
kind of feel so exhausted or something. Like you.
What do you do for work?
I'm an assistant teacher at a preschool right now.
Nice.
I'm getting my transition to teaching license to be like an art teacher for like middle schoolers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's just like, or even like the world. That's why it's kind of like almost like a privilege to like have the time and energy to make music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's because a lot of people, it's like they work all day and they just don't have the energy to be like creative
for sure. Or even I don't even know how people that like live in New York do that.
Yeah, no, I
like I feel like I've never lived in New York or a big city, but like I feel like if you needed like multiple jobs to like to like pay rent and buy basic food and stuff,
yeah, the worry about money and all that.
Like I would struggle to find time. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know what it's like to live in New York, guys. Forgive me. I've been in Indiana my whole life. Things are cheap here.
But what? Yeah, there's a writer whose name is Fran Lebowitz who like lives in New York or whatever, and she's like lived there her whole life, and she always says like a lot of people think that like you need money to live in New York, and she says like nobody has enough money to live in New York, yet they still live in New York.
What do they do?
I don't know. That's just a quote.
Guys, how do you live in New York?
How do you do it?
How do you afford New York? I need to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no interest in living in New York, though. But I like admiring it from afar, you know?
Yeah. I don't really know. I guess I'm just, like, happy here for now. It's like always, I feel like the most difficult part of moving to a new place is getting like, is starting like your community again.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of felt that way moving here.
Yeah, I guess you just did that.
Yeah.
But you had a few people, which is nice.
Yeah, I had a few people.
It's nicest when you do know a few people.
Yeah, and I had my girlfriend, and that's like a big thing. It was like,
oh, right.
We kind of leaned on each other's shoulder a lot.
She lives here?
Yeah, she lives here.
Okay,
with me.
cool.
Yeah, just moving is hard, man. And I don't think I don't think like I thought about that, like, and maybe that's something you don't want to think about too much when you're moving, how hard it is. You just do it, but it's still really hard.
Just do things. I've been trying to get on that vibe, like whenever I have something to do around my house, that I'm like, Alison, just keep on the move, keep doing things.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know, I feel like stagnancy can be dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. I whenever I get in one place for too long, I start to hate everything, you know? One of those things. Yes. But yeah.
Work-life balance?
Yeah, work-life balance. Yeah. I every once in a while, like when I worked in food service, it would be like sometimes like a song would come to me like while I'm working.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but like I would record it. And I also, because I had the pleasure of working with some of my friends in Fort Wayne who were also making music, like my old roommate, Matthew, shout out to Fresh Tar. And he would also like come up with ideas like at work. Like that's something that's awesome. And I think that's like an underrated thing, you know?
Like just get those ideas that come up when you're doing other things?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't had it much in this job, maybe because it's like 4-year-olds like
they drown out your head.
Yeah, they drown out my head a little bit.
That's
but
so funny.
Like in a positive way. It's not like I'm not like, you know, get away from me, I'm trying to make a song. But working in food service, I feel like the songs come more easily.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why don't you ask the 4-year-olds to help you come up with songs?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Sometimes they'll like sing.
I'm sure they have brilliant
They have good ideas though, because there was one of the kids like asked me if I wanted to hear her sing her song, and she sang me like a song like off the cuff, just like from her head, and it was like really interesting. It was just like there was a girl and she was unknown to the world, or like something like that. It was just like really interesting. It was obvious she was like singing about like herself, like in the world
in third person.
yeah, and that was really awesome.
That was so funny.
I'm like, that was amazing.
That's cute.
But I'm inspired by them.
Yeah, they've just like not been burned by the world, so they have like the utmost confidence a lot of the time.
Yeah, they do. They
haven't been told to like that they can't talk about certain things or to not behave in a certain way. I mean, they have, but they haven't gotten that down yet.
Yep.
And so they just do whatever they want. And honestly, I feel like that's been energy I've been trying to encapsulate recently in life.
The young spirit.
Yeah, I feel like it goes with like just like the endeavor of letting go of shame and like embracing just like the potential of being embarrassed. You know?
Yeah, and I think like, of course, like I feel like I'm in an echo chamber of like people that I know who are already in music, but I don't really know a lot of people who are like shy about doing music. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure they're out there, and I mean...
Yeah, they're just not playing shows.
Yeah, they're not playing shows, they're not going out to shows or whatever.
Exactly, but you could be going to shows and playing music.
Yeah, you should. You should. And, yeah, I encourage anybody who feels like they don't have it in them to make it, you know? Because it's like everybody who is in music currently has, you know, gotten beat down about their talent one way or another, I feel like. I have. There was when I was like in high school and stuff. I would like.
I certainly have.
I would submit like I used to make music under a different name like in high school, and I won't disclose what that was, but
why not?
I don't know.
No,
I used to just like make songs about like, I don't know, like crushes or something.
And, okay, fair.
And I would like. And I was like, it was really downtrodden music. Like, I don't think, like looking back, like I'm glad that didn't have like any kind of audience. That's kind of a blessing, I think.
Yeah.
Not like I have like a huge audience now, but back then especially. But
see, even things like that, I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to say. I guess just like that I could do something and majorly fuck up and realize that it's not what I want to do, and like it's a total embarrassment to like most people and like also to me. But the thing is, I feel like just that attention, like that audience from that, you could like use to like transform in your journey.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, using it as like a cue or something? Is that what you're talking about?
Just like it's good because like it'll get like more eyes on you for what's next.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you're known as something kind of embarrassing.
That's
I'm not trying to convince you to release your old music.
I did actually, and I took it down already, but I'm sure the impulse will come back to release it. But it's like really bad. But I'm not trying to like gain sympathy. It's just I feel like it was objectively bad. Like it, like
But right, it's like you got to be in a place where you can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I feel yeah. I love that I made bad music too. Like that's underrated.
I've made bad music. Oh my god, basically the first band that I like tried to put together and like tried to get bandmates together and play was a band called The Sluts.
Uh-huh.
And all of our music I wrote all of the songs, and they were literally just me playing like bar chords.
That's good.
That's
awesome.
And I sang too, but all of our songs were about being a slut and having sex, but like in a cutesy, playful way, almost like Sabrina Carpenter vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where it was like it's like a cute vibe, but also it's like sexy, cool.
Like there was like
sexy, cool.
There was like a song that was like "Come have sex with us. We really want it because we're such big sluts."
So it was like the theme song. Are you saying
No,
it's
they
like
were
those?
all like that. There's another one that was like, I want to have sex with you. Yeah, I want to fuck your brains out too. I really hope my mom doesn't watch this.
No, she probably is. That's an awesome band though. You should bring that back.
I've thought about it multiple times.
Yeah. That's awesome though. Like, wait, where are these people that you had this band with?
It was like, honestly, it was here. Rainey was going to drum for it, and then I went through several different people to try to play bass for it.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of did have one, and then we had a show booked, and then it just fell apart. But yeah.
Yeah.
It never really got going.
Sometimes that happens, you know?
And I feel like a lot of it was probably, like, my lack of confidence and, like, asking people, like, I thought that I was terrible at guitar and, like, everything and songwriting. And, like, I think I was scared to, like, ask people that it would be, like, a lot easier to, like, pick up a bass and play. Because I was trying to convince, like, literal friends that, like, either barely played or, like, didn't really, and trying to convince them to play. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, I could have been more strategic about it.
I feel like that would rock the scene, though. Was that like... When you say, like, Sabrina Carpenter vibes, is it, like...
Yeah, go on.
Is it, like, polished like that? Or is it, like, punk vibe with that
It was, like,
juxtaposed on
punk...
top?
It was, like, punk vibe. It was, like... I was trying to be messy about it.
No, yeah.
But, like, the whole, like, cutesy... God, I don't know what I'm... tongue-in-cheek...
Yeah.
Like, Sabrina Carpenter, I feel like it was, like, that vibe.
No, and she rocks with that, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like that in a punk format would be really cool.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll bring back the sluts.
Please do. I'll be there.
Even though I'm sure there's a million other bands called the Sluts.
Yeah. But, like, girl punk like that is always the best music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you have, like, any favorite girl punk bands that kind of are in that area of, like...
That's kind of hard. Like, I feel like there's not that many all-girl punk bands that I know of super well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any?
There's a band, I'm not sure if they're all-girl, but, like, I don't know if it matches the Sabrina Carpenter vibe, which is why that's such a cool idea, because I feel like it's original, so I feel like you should still do it. But, like,
I literally used to practice in, like, Pat and Basil's basement, like, play my guitar and, like, sing it. It was, like, so embarrassing.
Oh, that's so cool. No joke, that's awesome.
Go on.
I can't even remember what I was talking about.
Oh, girl punk bands.
Yeah, there's a band called the Saltines that I really like. I feel like I'm still discovering all these Indianapolis bands, because I feel like a lot of them rock, like a majority of them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's, like, so disparate, like they just tend to play in a certain group of bands and not, like, across the scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Where's like, across the scene? What do you think?
Like, I feel like a lot of State Street bands versus, like, Keeler bands. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of bands do play both of those, but it just kind of, like, all the younger kid bands obviously play at Healer a lot more, because Healer's all ages.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't play at State Street. But, I mean, even, I feel like there are a lot of bands that play at State Street more often.
Yeah. They're kind of pigeonholing themselves, if that's the right term.
Not even necessarily that. I just feel like the connections between, like, people and who's booking the shows and, like, who comes to mind when someone's booking a show is, like, a lot of people are in, like, pockets.
Like, gatekeepy, like, this is my friend group type
I don't know if it's intentional.
No, I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, but...
I mean, we all like what's comfortable to us,
like, a lot of the people... Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the people that, like, you know, when I first started going to shows in Indy and that were in bands and, like, friends with people I knew, like, a lot of those people, I feel like, are not involved in, like, the other side of the scene that I feel like I'm also in right now with, after, like, joining Kaya Hera and, like, just, like, being involved with a lot of the younger kids and, like, Brady's side of the scene. You know what I mean?
Is that the hardcore guy?
Yeah, 317 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a lot of, like, those hardcore shows.
Yeah, hardcore, metal, that kind of stuff. And, yeah, you know, like, Brady's shows are a completely different vibe from State Street vibe. You know what I mean? most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also believe in that type of thing. I don't really know like the people here that well, so it's like I don't know like who are the pockets of people that go to certain places, but like I definitely want to do it so it's like even my band plays at like all the venues in Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? And
which
it's
we
like
need more of. I always say that on this podcast.
more venues.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I even like the. I don't want to diss the Hoosier Dome or anything, but like you can cut this out, but it's like pay to play or something. But I really want to play there and like eventually.
Because they have a fee for like booking there.
I guess, yeah.
Or, wait, isn't that what you said with pay to play?
Yeah, pay to play. That's what I've been under the impression that that's the case, and it's just like
I think that is true.
I don't really rock with those places, but I like the idea.
It kind of depends. I mean, even Roses in Bloomington, you have to pay $150.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to book a show. Well, I think I have it figured out now, but like all the places in Boston I was hitting up to play
Boston?
were like, yeah, pay to play. I don't, it's just like, I don't know if it's like my own ego or something, but it's just like, I just like, no, you know, it's like, never, but.
No, yeah.
I don't think that's cool though, you know?
No, like if anything, you know, like, yeah, I feel like the first time that I've like played a bar venue that like, there wasn't even a door fee was like in St. Louis at CBGB. Have you played there?
No. Is it like a house venue or something?
I guess no, it's a bar. But
it's actually called CBGB?
Yeah, why?
Oh, the other CB. That's awesome.
Why?
Well, it's the birthplace of punk in New York, the CBGB.
I think that's right, you guys.
No, you're probably right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I played there one time.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, they didn't have a door fee, so all payouts were just based on donations, and we had to like go.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like the donation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm gonna have to do that with the skate park show I'm booking like this spring, because you can't really.
I feel like that's an underrated thing. Is the skate parks.
Yeah, you just gotta. It's a lot more work to put together. It's so much easier to book at State Street at Healer, but skate park shows are awesome.
I saw an awesome band there a couple weeks ago with one of my band members' other bands called Grimy, and they're like.
Oh really?
Yeah, I loved it. I love outdoor shows and like even if it's cold or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there's this band called Shrud that was really good. And they're from Louisville, I think.
Yeah.
And they're like fast punk music, like and they had the synthesizer going, like they were really good. And I think it being at the skate park like really made me like it even more. You know?
Yeah, it's got the punk DIY vibe, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We love a DIY show.
Well, do you want to talk about touring? Like, what groups have you toured with?
I toured with my old band Nama Nama.
And you guys did quite a bit of touring, didn't you?
Yeah, we did tours, and there was a lot of DIY touring on behalf of, like Kellen and Zara booked a lot of those shows. And
how did they go about doing that?
They just like a lot of just like emailing and.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a crash course in like how to book shows. I'm like, oh, okay, so you just nag these venues until they bite at you, and it's like you gotta have certain things like a press kit and whatever, and well, that makes it easy. You don't have to have it, but like just nagging venues enough. And I encourage everyone, if you want to do a DIY tour, to just nag venues, research like small music bars in this area, and then email this venue like, hey, we're coming through this date. Would you have us type of thing? Yeah.
It's just a lot of like cold messages, cold email.
Yeah. And 90% of the time they don't respond. Yeah. And that's kind of like, that's why it's like a game. You know, it's like it's like I don't know.
Right, because it's hard to get other bands on your bill if you don't have a venue yet, I guess. Like,
yeah. That's always funny. It's like, hey, and because it's like I'm on both sides of it. It's just like unless
you got a homie in a city that'll like hook you up, which is nice.
Yeah, if I was like close with other people like that, like in different cities, that would be definitely what I would do. But yeah, I've definitely been on both sides where it's just like bands hit you up. Hey, can you do all the work for us and like book a show at this venue in your town?
If it's like a band
on a Wednesday. And I'm like, I don't know. But then I'm like doing the same thing to other bands in different cities, and it's just like, I'm like,
no harm in trying.
yeah,
I guess.
Everyone does it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really fun to try and finesse stuff like that, like tours.
Yeah. See, I find it kind of exhausting personally. I want to like tour more. I just like don't. I also don't have like, the spreadsheets built up and stuff of like just all the different places. Cuz you also have to coordinate the dates and cities just so that you're not like just so that you're trying to group the ones closer to each other together.
Yeah.
And like just, if you have like a date at this one city and then a date at this other city and then just like making sure you're coordinating all of that, because when a venue gives you like a list of dates and then other venues give you lists of dates, you gotta like do some Tetris.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why I just kind of go all in and like, here's the date we're here. Can you book us? Like, even if we have no bill.
Like you're more specific about it.
Yeah. If I have no bill, there's like no bill, and I'll be like, hey, I can get some awesome locals. It'll be a great show, or like, I'll promise, like,
even if you don't know anybody.
Yeah, that's the key. I think it's just like completely lying and saying that you have all this confidence. It's like, oh, we're like, are you confident you'll be able to get 80 plus people? Like, yeah, I can. Even though it's like 5 people show up, but like it's awesome. I think it's awesome. But
yeah, I should work on that more. I guess there's so many different things I want to do. It's hard to know what to prioritize.
Yeah, right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's why when I because I feel like my main passion is music at this point in my life, but like I also like am very much looking forward to being a teacher, like an art teacher.
Yeah.
For middle schoolers, and it's just like I know if I play my cards right, I can like do tours like every summer with like whatever project I have, unless I'm like working through the summer, in which case I can even like call off and be like, if it's like a job at Costco, I'll be like, I can't do this week.
Yeah.
And then do like a tour. But
for sure.
Yeah, I think it is annoying, but it's like also like addicting, I think. But yeah.
Touring is kind of addicting.
And it's fun, man. And I think all the listeners at home should do it too.
Yeah, you guys should all do it. Make all of our music scenes blow up so that DIY takes over the world.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a big spotlight right now on Indianapolis DIY music.
Yeah.
I think there is. What do you think about that?
Why is that, Ron?
I don't know. I just think it is. There's a lot of great music, a lot of great punk bands.
Yeah, it does. It does. I hope the attention's coming to it. Indie's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you had any crazy stories while touring?
Yeah, there was one place that Nama Nama played where it was like a I won't give up the house venue name because it was a rockin' show, but like it was like a weird, like there was just like cats that I feel like weren't cared for particularly a lot, and it was like there was just like a bunch of poop like on the floor that they just weren't.
And you guys stayed there? Yeah,
we stayed the night there, and there was like there was kind of like rat. My theory is that it was rat poop like on the floor and stuff like as well. Yeah. And it was just like not a well kept house. And I mean, I get like the whole DIY punk house vibe, but also it's like I don't know, things can be gross and cool.
Yeah, they can. I have also had a similar experience.
Yeah, but I took a shower there the next morning. But shout out to them for letting us crash there, because I that's a big help. But like I took a shower there the next morning, and it was like I stepped on what I think was the equivalent of like a human-sized turd, like as I was like getting into the shower, and we were just laughing about it because I don't know if it was just like if it was a
oh my god.
I think it was a human, but like I was like so grossed out. I put stuff in the shower. Also, there were like ants all over the shower. I'm like, oh my god.
My god.
And it was like after the shower, I put a bunch of hand sanitizer on my foot or something. I was like really grossed out, but I was like, I cannot believe that happened.
That's so funny.
But yeah, now I have that story forever. But it's still like it makes me.
Ron stepped on a human turd.
I think it was. I think it was. It was the length, or like a cat like ate a hearty ass meal, and it was like it was pretty bad, man.
That's so funny.
That's my main my.
Hey, maybe if we're lucky, this will make it into one of the clips.
Please, yeah, put it in there. I want the world to know. But like, I was really stoked because it was like we were going to New York that day. We were going from Philadelphia. That kind of numbers in the house venue. But the
I can't get out what it
If you do your research, you can find out what house it was, listeners at home. But we were going to New York that day and playing with a couple of my favorite bands ever, and I was like, I have to take a shower, I have to look good. And it was just like the grossest shower ever, and it was just like, it's like I can brave through it.
Did you guys stop at a truck stop or something?
To do what? Like
to shower?
No.
I don't know. Can you use showers at truck stops?
I don't know, but I just that's something I haven't put like any effort into ever. It's like I know I always hear that you can do that.
I feel like a lot of times I don't know. Did you guys stay at many like motels or anything?
Yeah, we stayed at a couple motels.
Like when you couldn't find a place.
Yeah, there were a couple of times.
So like that's always I feel like there's like a guarantee of like having a shower at some point. Usually.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Because like even me, I don't shower every day. So I'm like
I do.
It depends.
I like my showers.
I kind of just shower when I feel dirty.
I feel like I don't know if it's like a preppy thing or whatever, but like if my hair is like greasy and whack, it's like my whole aura just goes away.
Oh, I agree. My hair just takes so long to wash and dry. It takes like an hour, so I like put it off and I end up I only wash my hair like once or twice a week.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was getting in the habit of using dry shampoo, which is I think really cool. I like dry shampoo.
Yeah.
For the tour.
It's complicated for the tour.
Yeah.
Dry shampoo, an essential. What are some other essentials for touring, Ron?
I have the awesome ability, and I'm very lucky because a lot of people don't have this, but I can fall asleep anywhere.
Oh man.
I can sleep on a floor without a cover or nothing, just like on a hardwood floor. And I think that ability helps you out a lot. So if anybody has that ability, maybe you could consider doing a DIY tour. What's another essential? Toothbrush, toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Lots of socks.
Extra socks. In case you step and poop.
Yeah, a sleeping bag.
What did you guys tour in, like a minivan?
Yeah, my parents' minivan.
Nice.
Yeah. For this home phone tour coming up though, I'm looking forward because we don't really we just have like my SP404 which has all the music on it, and then like
you don't need a lot of space for gear.
Yeah, don't need a lot of space. But
yeah.
Like for that it
is nice to just have space because you're kind of living in the vehicle for like your tour, you know.
And I think like that's also I can't speak for everybody, but like when you're on tour, like I feel like everyone gets on each other's nerves a little bit, and
really?
It's just in my brain.
No,
I don't know if
you've
the type
toured
of
for
person.
a lot longer periods than me. Like, what was the longest Nama tour?
I don't know, like a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's a tour. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just I get precious about space and stuff. I don't know. It's no one else's problem, but like that you need to watch that out for that in yourself if you're going on tour. Like, know what type of person you are with space and time. But also during tour, I was like addicted to sleeping, and like I would just like sleep for like the entire duration someone else was.
Well, at least that gave them a break from you.
I think maybe. Yeah, but yeah, I love sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping's nice.
Yeah.
So sleeping, an essential for tour.
Yeah. Also, good music. Good friends.
Yes. Good vibes. Something goes wrong on tour, you can come out of it. You still have a fun time.
Yeah. I love touring because of getting to play with different bands.
What do you mean?
Really
You had more of a chance to do that?
Yeah, because I don't know, like there's bands that don't tour, but you're like fans of these bands from different cities and stuff. So it's like, oh, we're gonna be in your town. Can we play with you? You know, type of thing.
Okay.
I'm really stoked about that though.
And that's with Home Phone?
Yeah. Listen to Home Phone.
Home Phone's really awesome. I really dig Home Phone. You guys should listen to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of Ron's other projects.
Thank you.
Are all cool. You have a very specific like sound. Like you can your stuff sounds like you, I feel like.
I'm trying to do that more and more. Like I feel like I've always been a person that's been reliant on my influences.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's like it's me because it's like I can't help but sound like myself to an extent. You know.
Yeah.
But it's
also like your unique combination of your like favorite influences. You know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Even if you're drawing from those influences, you're combining them in ways that other people aren't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just love doing it so much. I can't remember what I was going on about, but yeah, making music has just been the best part of my life thus far, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But the home phone tour is going to be really awesome. Oh yeah, and the viewers at home, you should listen to the home phone albums. We have an album called The Car that we released last year. It's a really good album, I think. And my friend Olivia goes off on it. Really good stuff. And she has a project as well called 955 Stars. That's really good. It's like Twin Peaksy, like really slow, like ballady, good stuff. That like if you see it, you gotta see it live. It's one of those things. It's like really good.
Yeah, I'll have to catch her next time she comes here.
Yeah, I'm always nagging her to come here. I want her to come live here, but she's like, I want to get all my friends from Fort Wayne to move here. Fort Wayne's awesome, but it has the brass rail and like a couple of every once in a while like a house venue pops up. There are like a couple. There's a place called the Muse on Main that I really love because it gave like kids.
Yeah,
like,
see, I was never really involved in the scene down there, so like I'm not that familiar with that part of it.
Yeah, but yeah, Indianapolis. I loved it. Like being from Fort Wayne and then coming here, it's just like the venues. There's so many more venues. Even though you feel like there should be way more, right? But like I feel like there's just a lot of venues compared to like where I'm coming from, and it's like that's just been awesome because every place that's a lie. Like every spot that we played at like different spots around town, and it's just been like awesome that it hasn't been like one place more than twice in a row or something.
Interesting.
Even though like we have like ties with the Healer heavy and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I mostly play Healer State Street.
Yeah, because they're really fun venues too.
Yeah.
Like, and the sound people are really great. That's like sound people like make or break a show. Like there was one home phone show that we played in Bloomington where the sound guy like turned us down all the way, and like it's pretty nuts because
where was that?
It was and it was at a place called the Orbit Room, and people say it's a great venue or whatever, and I believe them, but like I don't know, maybe they didn't rock with us or whatever.
Yeah, I know like people that play ambient music that have played there.
Yeah, I don't know if we're like ambient, especially at the time I was trying to be like more punk about home phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shout out to the Orbit Room.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about on the podcast?
Well, I guess just to anybody who listens to this, like keep on pushing along. If you're doing music, you will have an audience eventually. Just keep believing that. Even if you live in delusion that one day you'll be like famous or something, that's like part of what's fun about it. It's like, oh, your next thing is going to be what pops off. But
embrace the cringe. People that are hating on you are just not trying to do things themselves.
Yeah. Well, ignore the haters. Get the hater sunglasses on, and don't listen to anybody who tries to tell you that you're.
It means
no good.
you're being good. It means you're being vulnerable and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and music. Never forget, people at home, that music. The more vulnerable you are, the more likely you will like have an audience, and like that you're gonna have good music. I think like the more vulnerable, the better the music.
Word. No, I feel that. I totally feel that.
Keep your eyes to the sky.
Well, is there anyone else you want to shout out here on the podcast?
I want to shout out you. Thank you for letting me on.
Yeah.
For anyone who I want to shout out whoever, if anybody listens to this, maybe my parents or something. And I apologize.
hope they really like the bit about my band that didn't happen, the Sluts.
No, that's rocking. And I do think you should bring that back. But for real, what would you play in that band?
Oh, guitar and vocals.
Yeah.
Rhythm guitar.
Oh, rhythm guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not a great guitarist.
Me neither, man. I can only play guitar sitting down. That's why I don't
we didn't even talk about you playing drums. You're a really good drummer.
Thank you. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose that skill, though. And I was talking to my good friend.
You're not doing it so much right now?
Yeah, I don't really have any bands that I'm playing drums in. But also, if you're at home and you want me in your band, please hit me up. I want to play drums eventually. And I don't have space in my apartment or nothing, but...
Wow. What kind of bands are you looking to play drums for, Ron?
Punk bands with good melodic hooks. I think that's like the key That's my
Mia,
favorite thing.
you know how my band Kaya Hera is ending?
Yeah.
Like we have like 2 more shows, but so Mia wants to start another band that does vocals, and yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. She's an amazing front person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Kaya Hera?
No, I haven't, but I've only seen Pygmalion Brains, but I've always heard good things, and I've nagged you guys about doing a show like Calahera with
Oh yeah.
a plethora of my projects.
Yeah, you should come to our final release show.
When's that?
May 30th. It's a Friday or Saturday. I can't remember.
Is that the Healer?
Yeah.
Rocking, man.
Yeah, Mia is an amazing front person, so I very much am excited.
Yeah, tell them to hit me up, man. Always looking to play drums. You know. Also, listen to my new record. I don't know when this is coming out.
What's it called?
It's called Your Autograph Man because I'm gonna autograph each one.
Your Autograph Man.
Yeah.
By Roman New Time.
It's on a label called Global. Shout out to Josh for letting me on that logo.
I thought it had a really weird name.
Yeah, it's a bunch of numbers in front.
Okay. From where? Germany?
Yeah, it's from Germany. Yeah. It's going to be rocking. I might
yeah.
try and do a release show or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Always stay true to yourself. And thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry if I feel like I wasn't coherent, like making complete thoughts.
Thank you for
this,
tuning into Local Music Shapes Culture. I'm Alison Christoff, and this is Ron Record. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to my Substack, YouTube, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Substack hosts my podcast. So shouts out Substack. Thanks for hosting its RSS feed and pushing it to YouTube. If you want to support me and the work I put into this podcast monetarily, you can subscribe to my Substack as a paid subscriber, where I may post some extra content for paid subscribers soon. So thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.